Good afternoon. I'm Jason Sterling. I'm a member of the EA Creator Network. We're going to work some more today on the Eternal Imperium theme park. A theme park from the point of view of the, say, the Victorians, 1890. This particular section that I'm making sure I'm online here. This particular section is called New Atlantis. It is the sort of future world, right? Future land. And we're doing it in steampunk form. And let's see here. I'm trying to get everything. I don't know why I never had this ready. This little kind of side screen here. Okay, here we go. So we're doing this in steampunk form. I wanted to have a rocket ship here. I had my sim spend like hours, countless hours, of course, working on this steamship, this sort of steampunk rocket ship you see here. So we're going to do that. We're going to work on our portal today to come from Main Street into this section of the park. So to come from Main Street into New Atlantis, we're going to work on that as well. We're also going to work on this building because I think I'm going to use this building as kind of a rocket port type of building. The first thing we're going to do now that we have this in place, we're going to move all this other stuff out of the way. Some of it I don't think we're going to end up using. I know we're going to use that. Let me bring this down here. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. We'll put that in there. I might use these. I had this idea of blowing them up and creating a sort of, I don't know, we'll see, like maybe a scaffolding around this rocket ship so it looks a little bit like the sort of scaffolding, they use, like NASA uses to get people up and down the ship. Of course, in this case, our astronaut just enters through this door, so we don't really need it. But I think we might keep it on hand just in case. And if I can do something with it, great. And if not, and that's fine too. Move this here. Get all this stuff out of our way. Our pile of clutter is getting smaller, so that's a good thing. What is that I just grabbed? Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so I want a sort of plaza on this side of the building. We've got our statue here, right? Commemorating maybe the first brave Victorian astronaut who climbed into one of these things and shot himself into space. What I'm going to do is we're going to, though, first go ahead and replicate this building on the other side. I'm a little bit at a quandary with it because originally it was an odd number of squares and this was centered on the side. I pulled it back from the wall so I could lift the foundation up a couple of spots. So it's no longer an odd number of squares, and I'm not sure that I like it. We'll see. We're going to go ahead and bring this out like that. And I think what I want to do is connect these two pieces together. So let's go down here. This is kind of our entrance gate. Let's pull it up until we match the height of this particular building here. And then I guess what I could do is I could go ahead and let's pull this over. Because I think I'm going to extend the interior of this building all the way out to this wall and then do a small wall here on the upper levels. It's kind of a balcony. Here we go. For a look more like this, and then we'll have to replicate this as we go up because we've got the same kind of setup here. And I guess we'll go ahead and just do the whole thing. I don't know if I'm going to like it as much once I do this, but we'll see. One way I might like it is, I don't want it to be quite so closed in as what I think and so boxy looking. I might turn this into like a breezeway, connecting this to the main building. Oh, actually, we should move it out a little bit further. I don't know why that is not reading. It is reading as a room. I wonder why it's not building a floor. It says remove the floor. Now let's try. Can we build the floor? Will it come that way? No. So it doesn't want to put a floor there. Now that's very interesting. That I wonder what's up with it. Let's see. What can I do? I'll just throw a floor in there using one of these things here, I guess. Maybe let's go up. Build it out here. Hopefully I can keep from grabbing anything else with it. Took the walls out, but that's okay. Let's put the walls back in. And there we go. Well, wait a minute. I was going to say a little bit of copy and paste work. It didn't copy it though, did it? Did it? No, I guess not. So let's do it this way. Did it work that time? It did work that time. Okay. We'll throw in these side pieces and then take a look and see kind of, does it work? I don't know. I do like this part. So we'll need to build something here on the upper level, of course. I don't know. It doesn't seem too bad to me. I don't want it to get too modern. I'm a little bit worried it's getting a very modern kind of boxy sort of look. But I think that can be adjusted. Let's put him right there. Grab some more of this particular stone that we're using around here for our plazas. In fact, let's do this whole thing maybe all the way to there. Now, I'm going to take a look here. We're going to need some sort of roof on this place, of course. I'm going to throw a little bit of a roof in place, just so I can look at it, for a while and be like, okay, yeah, I don't like it, right? Let's see here. We're going to do it with that, and we'll go with this. And then maybe just sort of standard square roof here. If I don't like this, I might switch it to this. Yeah, I mean, already I'm kind of thinking, yeah. Because we've got that octagon roof, this is probably going to look a little bit better. Kind of drag it around like that. Yeah, that's better. We'll go with that. We're going to adjust the angle of the roof there to better match our octagon roof. Now, we do have these sort of areas here, I can either do a roof line on, or I don't think I'm going to, though. I do think I'm going to do, as I've already kind of got in my head, even as I was building it. Let's go ahead and just open them up, make them open breezeways. There's a particular sort of fencing I'm going to use here. Have I used it around here yet? I guess not. I thought I did. Yeah, I did. I used it over here. That way I don't have to go look for it. But it's all Gate of Wonders because okay, yeah, it is all Gate of Wonders because I changed all the fence to gates. Where it's this here. It's this one. Okay, so we're going to do breezeway, breezeway, breezeway. Well, that didn't, let's see here. That one did not work. We'll put it in this way. And then we're going to go ahead and just take out the roof here. We'll take out the ceiling. And then my thought is to go ahead and open this up as well. So let's go ahead. We'll do the kind of a 4 height sort of upper wall there. Well, I don't know though, now that I think about it, because yeah, you know, I was thinking, hey, let's do a balcony there, right? But I've got these light fixtures hanging down all the way through it. And they're pretty large. So to have a balcony there, your sim would basically bump into the light fixture. So yeah, let's not do that. Because I don't really want to change that aspect of that design. And we do have like a little kind of outdoor space here. That's probably good enough. Here, here, here. Now I have half a mind to change this as well in the same fashion by converting the whole thing to gates, right? Just to change it all to the look of the gate. The gate has a very kind of, you know, nice little peak to it. And the reason why I did it around the gardens because I wanted to put a bunch of light fixtures into these sort of squares. We might take this particular piece out. Just keep it as that. So I might do that. It does give it a nice look. It gives it a different sort of look than just that plain fence. And then one thing I really like to do, I did on the last stream. And I've done this a million times in builds. Where is it here? Got to be somewhere in here. Why do I always think it's near the end, but I don't see it here near the end. Okay, it's got it. I could just do a quick here. Let's do it this way. No, there it is. There it is. Okay. Put that there, and we'll bring it up like so. Put it there. I think I'm going to adjust my lighting just a little bit here. Brighten things up maybe just a bit. Okay, so we've got that set, and then we could do the same thing on every level. I'm not going to go through and do the same thing on every level right now. Maybe I'll put one more kind of example of it here. But I'll probably do the sort of tedious work of all the different levels off stream, off. Let's go ahead and take this roof off. I'm gonna try to find some sort of molding to go around here. That's not too bad. We might do something like that. I need a sort of, obviously a sort of Victorian look. But it could be something a little bit modern. I don't know. How about this one? Let's see what this gives us. Or this. I think I've used, did I use this already over here? No. Maybe we can use this. Let's see here. So we'll kind of throw this in. It gives us a very statement-y looking sort of... Come on. There we go. Come on. Ah, there we are. And I think we'll just use the same thing along here. And maybe around every level. I'm not sure. Maybe. We'll see. We'll go with a very intense kind of high-level gilded look here. A lot of gold or gold tones. We are going to need some sort of doorway into this particular part of the building. And I'm thinking about just doing this same thing where we're going to take this, you know, glass, this sort of nouveau glasses are calling it here. I like this particular door because it does come in a pretty good gold, right? A pretty obvious gold. So I think we will do that. This is going to be our very opulent sort of building. It's going to be tied here to the spaceport. So I guess we'll say this is, you know, the company that owns, you know, kind of space. They kind of, maybe they launched the first spaceship. They kind of established a big claim to large swaths. Maybe they control all the technology like this, so they're pretty rich, right? I'm not too sure about that, but I kind of like it. I kind of like the way those windows look. I think this is the only real option we have for this sort of bump out, this sort of bay window. I'm going to move it and see. What do we have here for really tall windows? Not really a lot. Not really a lot. So, about this size? Something like this looks pretty cool. Let's pull up this in white. How big is it? Like that? Doesn't really work as an overlap. I was hoping. I thought, let's give that a shot. See if it works as an overlap. Not really. We've got these might work. Let me take that. Let's move that out of the way. There's one of these I did overlap when I was building for this particular expansion pack. I mean, that kind of looks okay. We're getting some stutter there, but I can use tool mod to fix that, or we could also just do it like this. Now, the only other thing maybe would be we could do something. Again, this comes in like a really gold. So it's got a real, kind of opulent look to it. I'm going to move this one upstairs. Let's put this up here. We'll try a couple of different designs, kind of see what maybe fits the best. Draw that in. The thing I don't like is this gold tone really doesn't match this tone, so that's pushing me a little bit away from it. We've got a third floor here we can kind of play around with as well. Let's see if maybe we can grab a third option. And then I think I'll switch over and work on the portal real quick, and then I'll give my head a little bit of space to kind of think about what do I like best with windows on this particular building. We could use something smaller also and kind of stack them. That's an option. Oh, we've got this. Now this also has a little bit better tone to it, as far as matching this sort of, I'm going to call it a balustrade here, our fence line. I think that's the only kind of option that works, but it does work really well. So we're going to leave that also in place. And you know what? This kind of looks a little bit, why does this remind me of space? I don't know. For some reason, the way that looks kind of reminds me of space. So maybe it would be a sort of Victorian interpretation. I'm going to leave that there, but right now my head's leaning towards this. So we'll see. Now, I do want to work on the portal. The portal is going to be in this building here. So we're going to use these particular portals from Realm of Magic. We've got, I think this is, that's the entrance. That's the exit. Sims will just use these automatically. And they pretty much have to use a portal to get back here to the main part of the theme park. So you can either go to New Atlantis, which is our steampunk world, through this building, which is kind of the odd, I was calling it Oddfellows Hall, but I feel like that's a little bit sexist. I wanted something a little bit more inclusive, and I haven't come up with a word, but I wanted to be this idea of these kind of crazy crackpot inventors, right? Maybe the Odd Inventors Hall. I don't know. The Crackpot Inventors Hall. So you either have to go through here or through the conservatory. There is a hidden portal here in the mirror above this fireplace, and it leads back over here to this area. Or there is a mirror, a portal hidden here, which will be kind of a curious shop. That portal will lead you back here to Mysterious Island. So we're going to do this portal here. And one thing I would really like to do, and there's some drawbacks to it. Well, there's one drawback to it, is I would like to use the elevators from City Living, or the University Pack, I think, had elevators. I think. Did it? I don't know if it did or not. Doesn't matter. I'd like to use the elevator as just a decorative item. So it just looks like you're going through the elevator. And then you come out, over here, right? So we're going to go with maybe this. This is exactly what I used for my airship, the RM Cascadian, was this sort of point. And So I thought, well, maybe we'll use the same thing here. I do think maybe I'm going to try shrinking that down. So you get a little bit of a weird shadow there from it, but otherwise that looks pretty good. I mean, that actually looks like a surround for an elevator, so not bad. Now we can only have, in quotes, one elevator per lot. See, like only one elevator allowed. Okay. A long time ago when City Living first came out, I figured out you could just draw like a little room around it. And I did a video about it. It was actually my very first video on YouTube was this. It was how to make extra elevators either for decoration on non-penthouse lots or to have more than one elevator on a penthouse lot. So you could go from floor to floor instead of using stairs. You could use elevators within your penthouse. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that there, and that'll grab us another one. Some reason, you know, it's like when you put a room around it and you hit copy room, it copies everything in there and it brings it without any trouble. Hooray, hooray. And we'll drop that down all the way to the floor. And then it'll kind of show up over here, right? Same way. Yay, looks the same. And then we could test it, and I might test it here in a little bit. We really don't need to. I've tested it with everything else. These portals, nothing affects them. It doesn't matter there's an elevator there. It does not matter if I put bookshelves in front of them. It doesn't matter I've got it halfway in the wall, right? Straddling a wall. Nothing affects them, and your sim will walk through that door and teleport right through. Nothing, with no trouble at all. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's just my idea for it here, right? We'll just do it like this. Actually, I love the way that looks. I was hoping it would look okay and I wouldn't have to kind of mess with it, and I didn't. It looks really good. So we're going to leave that there, and we're going to do kind of the same decor, but on opposite sides of the room, because this is kind of a mirror image. So we have the same front here that we have over here. So when you enter from what would be the 1890s world of Main Street, and then you come out into, say, the 2020 world of New Atlantis. And I don't really know what kind of furniture or anything else to put here. I haven't given it a whole lot of thought. I guess I'll grab some flooring first. For anyone who's curious, New Atlantis is a name I got from... That looks pretty good. I might go with that. That I got from a book by Neil Stephenson. It's called The Diamond Age. It's a little bit of a sort of cyberpunk sort of book, but it has elements of the steampunk idea in that, there we go. In that the main characters, about half the main characters, are what they call New Victorians, and they belong to a quasi-political group called New Atlantis, right? That's what they kind of call themselves. And so I thought, well, I need a name for a steampunk, futuristic kind of Victorian world here. And then I thought, hey, let's just use New Atlantis. I love the book, by the way. If you need something to read and you like that sort of sci-fi genre, I think you'll really like it. It's a very, very well done book. Okay, so we'll do that sort of wall there. Let's grab ourselves some lighting. I fall back a lot on Journey to Batuu for lighting for steampunk looks or industrial looks. The pack, I really like Journey to Batuu. I really, really do, but I love Star Wars. And I really like Disney World too. So yeah, it suits me a lot. I really like Journey to Batuu. But I particularly like, here they are. These sort of fixtures are just really very, very, very cool. So I think I'm going to do something like this. I might make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, I'm going to have to make it a little bit smaller because it's giant. We could maybe even make it that size. Can we center it more? Not really. We're still going to have to kind of maybe leave it there or there. So we'll put that in there. And let's put one on each end. And, 'cause, 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 ' The only thing that's going to bother me about this look is how these things stick out. I'm going to move this here, in fact, get it out of the way. We'll go ahead and move this here just so it mirrors each other. I do want to kind of look the same from end to end. I'm going to try to build something around it. It has a very industrial look just as it is, but I would love to have, I don't know, something that's going to look a little more steampunkish. So steam, I guess. We could put some chimneys around it to crank out some steam. We could do the little floor registers from Get Together that would, they also put out steam, but they put out, you know, bubbles too. So kind of a weird effect there, but we could do that. I kind of like that. Let me look at that. That's kind of neat. I kind of like the way that that intersects that post. Let me see if we blow it up. What do we get? Because it gives it a very, again, sort of sci-fi industrial addition to it. I'm going to leave that there for the minute. I don't know if I'm going to love it in the end, but I'm going to leave it there for the moment. I don't know why that is so high up on the wall. Bring it down. We use this little music box. I love the music box. It has kind of a, you know, doesn't it look kind of like a sort of, I don't know, like something you'd find in a steampunk environment? There's actually a lot of items in this game. I think there's somebody at Maxis that does kind of, maybe more than one, right? Because I think through the whole run of this game, there's these sort of steampunkish sort of vibes going on with some of their stuff. Makes it pretty easy to adapt it or kind of integrate it for that sort of look. Yeah, that looks good there. We're going to grab ourselves some sort of intricate looking rug. But from the start, even from like base game and Get to Work, you had those items that just seemed designed for a steampunk look. In fact, like the giant cupcake, you know, maker that comes to mind, the giant industrial kind of cupcake maker, which I don't know if anybody uses it. I think I did set it out over here. Did I set it out over here? I did. So I'm going to put it to some sort of use back here, obviously. But I mean, just look at that. If that doesn't scream like, you know, steampunk, I don't know what does. So we're going to put in maybe a little bit of seating in this area. Just one of our Victorian options. This is, I do like this. This is a very cool sofa. I don't know if that's going to work there or not. Let's see what colors it comes in, because I do really like it. This is from that Love pack. What was it called? I don't even know. Love Escape or something. But it's got a really great look, and in a little bit lighter color would be nice in here. Bring the tone down just a little bit. Kind of bring the darkness down a little bit. Let's do that. And it has a quasi sort of matching chair, which I also love from that pack. Even though I felt like the kind of mechanisms for that pack were, it had a little bit of a rough start. Kind of some of the mechanisms working. I really do like the town, the sort of city, because it was kind of an urban environment, which was nice with that pack, and the stuff that came with it I really like. I always like the stuff. Being a builder, I think that's part of why I like The Sims for so long, because I love stuff, and there's always great stuff. Every single pack has great stuff. Where is that chair? It should not be this hard for me to find that chair. I'm going to grab this real quick, though, because I think I'm going to use it over in our spaceport. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just go ahead and let's just go this route. Love Struck. That's what it was called, Love Struck. Here's the chair. Put it there. Change its tone down to this lovely, lovely cream and brown. That seems a little bit darker though. Is it darker or is it just me? I think it's just me. Let me move it over here and see. I don't know. No, is it darker? I think it might be darker. Let me try this again. The wood matches. I guess it's not. I think it's the lighting and my eyes. Probably my eyes are also playing tricks on me. So let's see. What tables did we get with this? We got these kind of tables. This is kind of cool. Does it come in? I don't know. That feels more like an adventure kind of mysterious island table. So yeah, let's not do that. We could do this. We could put in that sort of table. It's really kind of big there. I'm going to move this chair just a little bit. And I think this comes in a nice white. It does. Pretty nice cream. We could do it with gold. Kind of keep that sort of gilded Victorian gold look going. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to go with that because this darker brown kind of matches the chairs. So it feels a little bit more like a suite of furniture. And I don't think I'm going to do any sort of coffee table here. This is probably enough. This room is not super important. This is just our way to get from Main Street through the portal to New Atlantis. I have half a mind to use this again, but I use it all the time. We could maybe use this one. I'm going to see if it comes in a sort of a gold and a, well, kind of. It's got kind of a, it's kind of all right. Gold and red. That's not bad. Kind of matches that box a little bit. That's an option. We're gonna look at that for a minute. And this is always an option. I know I'm gonna end up using this because I love the lamp, and it just has some great kind of looks here. We'll go with that yellow is really pretty. And I don't know there's a whole lot else I would put here. Now, something like this, I'm gonna move this over here for the New Atlantis side of this building. I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use that kind of setup there. So let's take it out. Now we're going to just do a mirror image here on the other side. So we're going to kind of, let's get in here a little bit closer. Oh, wait. There we go. Because you're going to come in from this side, you're going to exit over here and come into this sort of mirror image room to step out. Whoops. Let's see. I kind of thought it should stick here a little bit better, and we'll just go ahead and eyeball it here. Maybe I eyeballed it over there too. I can't remember. And then we're going to take out this, of course, puck light, and we'll go ahead and put in our new lighting. Which again, this doesn't seem to want to really, it doesn't seem to want to place like I've got it on the other side, which is a little bit odd. It's a little bit odd. Let's try. So I'm just going to eyeball it all, I guess. Something like this. And then we'll bring this one down over here. Okay, so that takes care of that. That takes care of our kind of, our way in, our way station. Yeah, it doesn't want to stick there. That's weird. Now, on this side, I think I am going to go ahead and we're just going to keep this particular window. It does have a sort of space trajectory screen kind of look and feel to it, in my opinion. That's what I think when I look at it. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep that. We'll take this out, take this out. I really want to put a sort of arcade in here. Like with these particular little games, Put that back over here. Now we could use some more. Let's back out a little bit. We can use some more windows here, a little more design to it. We'll kind of bump up the Victorianism a little bit. So maybe we'll use this type of wall covering. In a white. Let's try that. And then I'm going to just try this as well. We're going to go ahead and grab this, new glass wall here, and we'll bring it across. Yeah, we're going for a very opulent look on this particular building. Go through there. I don't know what happened to our molding there. I must have got rid of it somehow. Let's see here. Okay, so we'll put that in. We'll go ahead and we'll do... I want to do some columns, but one thing I hate about using columns is they disappear. So I'm going to try bringing in the one column I know doesn't disappear from debug. I'm going to take a look at it. I just don't see myself keeping it because it's black. And it's maybe going to clash with all this white and gold. So I don't know. The only other thing I could think of would be to try to build, I don't know, a column somehow. I don't think so. I really don't think that will work. Okay, so let's go into debug. Let's pull that, like I said, the one column in the world that I know actually does not disappear when we try to use it. I'm going to need a little cheat in here. It's under the vampires debug menu, which is right down here. What's that? It's pretty nice. Is it that one? I think it's that one. So, you know, this won't disappear if I use it. I can put it up here and it will stay in place and give us kind of a look, you know, kind of building up. But, I mean, it is, you know, it's pretty dark compared to the rest of the building. And I don't know if that's, I don't think that's really what I want to do. I wish I could find another column that, I don't know, came in more than one color and didn't disappear. The other thing we could do is we just take this particular column here. I've been using this a lot. And we grab it in white and gold. It does match, right? It does fit our style. We'll go up here. I don't know. I don't even know if I like that, though. Really, now that I've got it there. I'm going to look real quick here and see if there's maybe, what about this? Slightly different texture to it. Yeah, I don't think I even really like those columns that look up there anyway. What I kind of wouldn't mind doing is maybe one. Like just one of these. Can I pull it up? It won't let me. No, okay. Like just one really tall column goes all the way up. For the moment, let's go ahead and we'll throw in this stone on the rest of these. Rest of this build here. I'm going to toss that out. I don't think I'm going to need that either. I had this idea of using that little kind of screen a few places, but I doubt it. I'm going to move this over here. Just don't really know what to add to this. I guess it doesn't need anything. I keep thinking I should add more to it and kind of embellish it. I guess it doesn't necessarily need that. You know what I would love is, do we have, I mean, I know we have gargoyles, right? Yeah, we've got gargoyles, of course. I wish we had something kind of like the angel, since we're talking about flight over here. Well, maybe we'll use the angel. Actually, let's just look at that. And maybe I can stick those on kind of these ledges. Angels are kind of celestial, right? They're supposed to be up in the heavens above the sky, and that's where space is. So maybe that would be something that would be added to this sort of building. Let's see, what colors? What as white as we can get that here. Oh boy. Although, you know, that's not bad. Kind of a contrast, but let's pull a white sort of little angel out here. Lift. I guess I don't even need to lift her. Let me go down here. Just set her out here. I wonder. I don't think we have anything that this would work, but I would love to have a little globe in our hands. Now we have the crystal globes, you know, from Hell, I don't remember the name of all the packs. But, you know, from that pack where you could do a seance and stuff, we've got globes from that. And we do have globes. Let's just put in globe. Let's see what we get when we put in globe. Because maybe if she had a little globe in her hand. So we've got stuff like this. We've got this and this. Let me pull this out. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. I don't think that's going to get small enough, but it's not bad. This here. And it comes in like a really great, you know, kind of gold. And then I'm going to pull out the, is it an orb? Is that what they call it? No, we do have an orb. And it's a lamp. Let's go ahead and grab that just in case. We'll do that. What are the, oh, is it a ball? Crystal ball? Do they just call it crystal ball? Can it be that simple? It is. It is that simple. Hooray. So let's grab that. We'll put that there. Now, if I put this here and I make it small, what do we get? Something kind of like that. I'm not sure that's even really... Can you even kind of tell what it is? I think that's out. We're not going to do that. Now we've got this light fixture thing here. And that would light up at night. What colors does this come in? It comes in a bright yellow, so it definitely would hold on to our kind of gold theme. I want to see what that looks like at night. Oh, that's not bad. You know, that looks like a sun. Very celestial, and it does add some light here. I think that's it. I think that's what we're going to go for. I love this, though, and we're going to keep this. We're going to work this in somewhere. I don't know exactly how or where. Could we do it there? Or do we need that much ornamentation? Maybe we do. Maybe we do. I'm going to go ahead and put one on each side here. And then I'm going to decide if I want to... Let's see here. Where's the arrow? There's the arrow. And now I'm going to decide if I do want that much ornamentation running up the outside of this building. I think I do. I think I'm going to want it. Let's grab another angel here. We'll put her on this ledge. Bad thing is I did kind of eyeball her to get her into place. But I don't have that many to place, so probably be okay. And with these things here, I'm going to see if maybe we can throw some sort of lighting into them as well. My first thought is just to use an uplight. Let's see here. But it does change it a little bit. What else have we got? We've got this sort of stuff. I don't know if that made really any difference at all. Let's take that off. Oh, it did. Oh my gosh, it did make a difference. Look at that. Actually made quite a difference. Could do the orb here too. Let's bring it up. I mean, that's pretty evident that that's, you know, we could make it a little bit smaller. Let's try that. I'm going to throw that in a couple of these, and then if I like it, eventually I'll go through and just add it to the rest of our build. It definitely lights up the front of that building. I think it gives it a really nice look. Now, the back of this building, I haven't put any windows in, and I'm not entirely certain I'm going to put windows in this building on the back side. I kind of want to, but I don't know. We'll go with a rich paneled look on the interior. I don't think I have any lights in here. This is just really bright because of the sun. Let's put in some lighting. The more I've kind of looked at that shelf, I don't really like it. So I'm going to take it out and let's see if we can create. We can do something with this. Now that's for sure. We could bring this over here. I wonder how close I can get it to that. You know, without it kind of screwing with it. I don't want to have a situation where, you know, it suddenly won't lift off because I've got stuff too close. I guess that's as high as we can do with these particular. So I can either look for different columns or, and these are going to disappear, of course, once we get into game. They're probably going to disappear if we get too close. But you know what we could do? We could build a sort of, I wanted to do a sort of scaffolding look. I wonder if we can do that with the spandrels and see if maybe they'll give us a little more detail. Aha, there we go. That's not too bad. Now, I wonder if, is there any way to kind of, yeah, we could kind of put in something here. But it's not doing the same thing on both sides. Let's see. Is that the same? There we go. Now it's the same. Okay, so cool, cool. And I guess we'll just replicate that. We'll just go ahead and replicate that on all the sides here. Hello, sun. Nice. Oh, they're feeling. He was just showing me a picture of our cats who are finally being nice to each other, have formed a truce, and are laying in the same chair together. They go in and out. They're actually brothers, so they're from the same litter, but they go in and out of hate and love, of course, as cats do. And I'm not sure what motivates that or what gets them going, but yeah, if they love each other, they love each other. just as much as you can imagine. And if they hate each other, it is intense hate. Now, I'm going to hope that our sim can actually use that. They should be able to. I don't think this is going to mess things up that much. I think I'm going to move him over here. I really hate to do that, but doesn't it feel like he should be in front of the rocket ship? The other thing, I could turn the rocket ship facing that building, but I don't like that idea. So let's go ahead and put the rocket ship there. We're going to do it like this. And let's grab a couple of these new trees. These are the new trees, the new cherished patio trees, which I love them. They've got a great kind of plaza look. I'm going to put one over here. And if anybody asks, of course, the reason why we can have trees so close to this rocket ship is because it runs on steam, right? It doesn't run on fire. It's going to lift itself off on a massive column of steam, and that's going to get us where we need to go. I do want to, let's see if we can, we're going to frame in a little bit of our marina. Let's move this out of the way. I need to look and see if anybody's done these kayaks as custom content. I don't use any custom content in my game so far. I mean, typically I've done a few builds where I'll bring some custom content in and I'll do the build and I'll take some pictures and then I take it back out. But I wouldn't mind replacing these kayaks with something a little bit different. They're super cute for like summer camp. Super cute for summer camp. Super cute just for an average sort of day. But here I'm going to use them because this is Atlantis. This is new Atlantis. So I do want to have like a water option, but they don't really fit that well. Not really. Let's see here. And I want to kind of control where Sims will get in and out of this body of water. So we're going to frame in a lot of the pool with some fencing. Oh, let me leave that there for the moment. I do have this sort of spandrel here, so I probably had an idea of doing something. So we're going to leave it alone. Now, my thought real quick is we could go ahead and test out our airship and see how well it works. Let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll do a quick play test of it, make sure it does fit. I think I'm going to have to go out through manage worlds. That is the only drawback to having more than one elevator on your lot. And I'm not even using the elevator. It's just decorative. You can only exit the lot from build mode by going through manage worlds. It took me a while to figure that out back when City Living came out because I could have more than one elevator, but then I couldn't get out of build mode. So eventually I was like, well, you know, I guess we can go, let's try this. Let's try exiting this way. And it does work. So we're going to grab our guy here. It's an extra step, but right now I don't have any other thing that I want to put there. It's just the perfect look for that transfer point, the sort of teleport point. Kind of gives us that mysticism of going into another world from Victorian 1890 to Victorian 2020. Okay, so here we are. We're going to real quick. We'll just go ahead and we'll test with Reg here. Our sort of setup using, there we go, using our portals, right? So we're going to have him go here. And he should walk, there he goes. And there he goes. So it works just great. He'll portal right over. And then let's see if he can get over here, go check out space. Okay, there he goes. Now, let's try explore space and see if he'll get into the thing. Yeah, so it's going to work too. I was afraid with putting this junk around it would inhibit it in some way. Oh, it does use a little bit of fire. Those trees might be in danger, but they're special, like steampunk fire retardant trees, right? So those things work. Let's go ahead and turn our sun back on. Now, I was working on this particular building during the last stream. I really like the way it looks. I do think it has a really kind of cool steampunk feel. I couldn't decide if I wanted to continue wrapping this crinkled metal all the way around like this. But I think in the meantime, I kind of have decided to do that. At least let's give it a shot. Let's see what it looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and use this particular wall to bring across here for the moment. We don't have a roof here, and I don't know if I'm going to do a roof. I might just do a flat, kind of a flat roof. Let's use something like this, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to like that or not, but we are going to leave it for a little bit while I'm kind of tinkering with other things here. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know if I love it. I think these industrial fans can stay. One thing I did with those in other places, I guess we could try that here. I don't know. Let's take a look real quick. This is kind of a weird building because it's got these sort of ornate details, of course, but it's also pretty industrial, pretty dirty looking. But I've done this where we just kind of would blow up this thing there, and I'll have to take the wall out. Let's see. But, you know, we can kind of put it on the front of this like someone's tried to dress up like, you know, this sort of ugly industrial fan. Let's put that there. We'll get it good and centered there in the middle, like so. We do end up with the mirror down here, but we'll throw something there. I don't know, some crates, some boxes, something like this. What do we have over here? Something like that, you know, but smaller. Or we could even do like a chest over it. And then it just gives it kind of that quirky sort of, like I said, like someone took a piece of massive industrial machinery and tried to dress it up in a sort of Victorian fashion. Put this on here. Whoops, shoot. There There we go. I don't think I'm going to use the same thing. Let me see here. In fact, right off the bat, what do we have? We have some crates. So kind of a big stack of crates, but I think we could put those here. There we are. And we could change the colors of those. You know, it comes in a green. Green's also kind of nice in this. But I think I'm going to leave the orange, just sort of coppery looking color. And then on these upper levels, do we need windows? I think we do need some sort of windows. What kind of windows? I don't know. I love these. I just love that sort of quirkiness to it. We could do something like this, maybe. I don't know. I need something that's going to fit kind of tone-wise. The kind of color. We have other, you know, stuff from Castle Estate, or we've got something like this. Let me bring that down. Hopefully it won't jump around on us quite as much. Oh, and see, that's got a real dirty look to it. So let's maybe go with that. Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll go with that there. Now, on the sides, I don't know that we actually need anything on the sides. I don't know. We'll see. And I have no idea what I'm going to put in this building. It could just be a stage front. You know, just set decoration since it's a theme park. But I feel like we should put something there. We could put bathrooms in there. Now, that's one thing we could do. So I don't have any bathrooms over in this area yet. And that would be really pretty perfect. And I think we're going to put this over here. What is that? The temple architecture. Yeah, we're going to put that in here. This one I'm going to put over here. This will also put here. I'm going to put this in a couple of places. So we're going to put some keys here and here. And I've got these butterflies, and I'm not real sure where I'm going to put them. I mean, I really, really, really like the idea. I could put them in here maybe. Like that. You know, in this sort of room, that sort of look. Let me move this out of the way. I may not put this here. Maybe I could put this out here. I don't know. But I do like these. They've got a little bit of that sort of orangey, coppery sort of steampunk sort of tone, right? That sort of look. And this is kind of our building that leads to the rocket, you know, our sort of rocket corporation building. So I'm going to put those in there for now. I'm going to put this over here. Another industrial sort of add-on. And I might stick a chimney in here. In fact, I'm going to do that for now. I think I'm going to stick a chimney in there and then shrink it down or hide it. And then smoke, you know, will come out of it like steam. fact, we could even lift it up into this, I think. I don't know. I don't know if I'm able to just not be able to hide it or not. Let me go ahead and put it here for the moment. I want it to be completely even on the top. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit like that, right? And maybe I can change the color of it so it matches better. I don't know. How about this one? It's not smaller, is it? Does it get smaller though? See, we could do this. That's not too bad. And then the smoke will come out of the top there, like the machine's kind of putting out some steam or some smoke. And then here on the inside, we'll go ahead and we'll start building a couple of restroom areas. So we'll do, let's see what we've got. We'll do one here. I guess like this. Which leaves a really large room here. We don't need that much space. Go ahead and cut this off like that. And we can just convert this space to something on Main Street. Since they back up to each other, we'll do something like that. Now on the interior, I left this here and I left some keys. I think I'm gonna need a little more decor than that. But for the moment, I guess it's okay. We need something to go on our walls on the inside. I don't want it to be too fancy. Let's see if we've got... this sort of... That's very warehouse looking, right? Very warehouse looking. What is the industrial? No industrial, good. This one has an industrial footprint, so I hate to use it. Otherwise, I would be using it. But this building already has some industrial, footprints to it. I don't know. I don't see a lot else. I guess we could do this. Does this have it does have an industrial footprint. And then we've got this sort of stuff. They did not put an industrial footprint with this stuff, so maybe we could use it. Yeah, let's go ahead and use that for now. They did put an industrial footprint on this stuff. How about here? Yeah. This one, yes. Okay. I think this is also industrial. I would love to use this, but it's industrial too. So we could do masonry. How about this stuff? If I do this, that makes me almost want to go back and do the warehouse look. In fact, I think I will. Let's do that. Let's just go back. We'll go back, we'll grab this warehouse stuff, and we'll put it in place instead. And we'll go that route. We'll go like that. We're going to need some lighting in here. And my thought for this is, since we're going kind of warehousey, right? We're going kind of warehousey. Let's just use the bare bulb. The bare light bulb. Which should be like one of the cheapest things in this whole catalog. And yet, I think it's down near like the end. Yeah, like right here. So it costs $150 for a bare light bulb, right? But we're going to put a bare light bulb here and a bare light bulb here. And I really would like to try to figure out a way to have 2 bathrooms. I don't know. I mean, I have 2 toilets for each side, but trying to put in 2 toilets and a sink in this space could be difficult. But what we can do is we'll put 2 toilets here and put the sink out here. That'll be fine. Let's go ahead. Grab ourselves some sort of archway and, oh, these doors will work out fine too. Just put a couple over there for here in a moment. I really like this. I'm just not doing that sort of look, but I love that almost works, you know. It's actually too big. It is actually too big. We can do this. We'll do this one. Make a little sort of, you know, kind of entry there. Grab this fancy vampire toilet. Put in each spot. Actually, we could just do this. Well, no, let's just do it the other way. I'm afraid I'm going to end up with like some kind of mess. Because I'm afraid it's going to copy and replicate that. The light fixture, the bare bulb, over and over. Pulled a lot of stuff with it anyway. Yeah, in fact, I just made this like way harder for myself than I needed to make it, but that's okay. Okay, so let's get rid of all these doors. Don't need all these doors now, do we? No. I do need that though. Let me put that back. I need the little archway here. And is that just one? It is just one. Is that just one? That's just one. Okay. I'm hiding some messages in the bottle. Ties into this theme park. And I might hide one in here in the bathroom. It's probably a really good place to hide one. I wonder where those extras are. Let me see here. Yeah, let me grab one of these. If I can get in here and reach it. And I wonder, did I leave any over here? No, I moved them all. I'm trying to hide them all around so you can just find them as you go. Messages in a bottle tie pretty heavily into Mysterious Island, which is what our, you know, kind of more adventurous land is about. I wonder, can I put it here? I don't want it to get in the way of the toilet. I'm afraid if I put it here, I want to put it back here, back in this corner. I'm afraid the sim cannot reach it. I might try that during playtesting at some point, but I'm afraid they won't be able to reach it and read it, so. Could do these sort of cabinets in here. Put a couple of sinks in them and we'll be good to go. We might be able to use, though, let me take that out. What if we just use something like this? Or this. I use this as well. I think that's got a very kind of, I don't know. Again, it feels very warehousey to me. I love the way it's got a hose on the side. And we're going to go through debug. We're going to grab, oh shoot, let's see here. There's a large sort of industrial looking, I don't know, radiator looking kind of thing. I want to pull these two, put it here. And I can't remember if it's in debug or just the regular menu. I don't see it yet. Ah, there it is right there. Okay, so we're going to put this in. And what I would love to do is find a mirror that would fit kind of with this. I don't know. That's kind of the idea in my head. I don't know if that will work. Let's take a look at mirrors, see what we have. We could do something like that. That's not too bad. Or we could just do a plate glass mirror. I think I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with something kind of plain there. And then see if I put that there. Can that come down any further? Yeah. So I want to kind of put that like it's a mirror within a mirror. Got that great kind of steampunky vibe to it. So we'll go with that. And then if I decide later to embellish this more, maybe I'll stick an arch around it or I don't know. A picture frame, maybe. Sometimes you can arrange a picture so that, you know, the frame will fit around, say, the mirror and the art part of it disappears. I do that. Oh, shoot. Let me see here. Fix that real quick. That's a pretty good use for this space. I was kind of, you know, getting a little nervous. Like, what am I going to do with this spot? Because it's so small, there's not a lot that we can do. Where is... I think there is a different... There's a different framed sort of chalkboard. It comes in a green metal, and I think it came with Get to Work. So I think that that is what I'm going to look for here real quick. Ah, there it is. Oh, that was easy. Yay. That's almost too big. Let's do it that size, but I might use tool mod. Kind of bump it up a little bit. Let's see here. Okay. There was something I was going to look for, and I think what was it? Shoot. Kind of just went right out of my head. Okay, so something I thought would work. I do like that. Let me put this in here. Or maybe on this side, you know? Now, what was I thinking of? Oh my gosh. Oh, yes. Well, there was one thing. Yeah, I was thinking of using. It was like a picture, and I had it out here for a while. But then when I was thinking about it, I thought, oh, wait. I'll use this other thing, and now I can't remember what it was. That is so weird. Oh, well, it may just be lost for a while. It may be lost in my memory. I don't know. Because it was something was going to be in this section. And I came here looking for it. And now I can't remember what it was that it was going to be. Okay, well, cool. Let's go ahead and maybe we'll stick a post in here. Some sort of pipe. Some piping. Kind of get some of this stuff out of the way of this building. Don't need that toilet. This here. Now, do I like this sort of molding up here any better? Not really. I really don't. I'm going to try adding... Try adding this freeze up here and see if maybe that makes me like it better. Okay, and with that, I think this is going to call a halt to this particular stream today. Please hit like, subscribe, and notify. We will continue working on this build throughout next week. next weekend and the week following that, I hope to have this done. We're going to come through and start playing it. We're going to play test it, play through it with my family. Both this, the Eternal Imperium theme park with new Atlantis here in the back, sort of steampunk world, and our steampunk hotel. Supposed to tie into this a little bit. We'll bring my family in, start playing that. So please hit like, subscribe, and notify so you don't miss that. And until that time, thanks for watching.